Close.
All right, and we're live. Yes, my wife said I desperately needed a shower, so I was like, okay, I get it. And that just went on the video, so it's in perpetuity.
That's, you know, say nice things about your wife.
Yeah, wonderful.
I'm Mr. Duncan. How are you? Long time no see. Well, now, there's always people here ready to speak tonight.
So I still gotta watch. About 15 minutes.
Six of us. Secretary. Good evening, everyone. I call a special meeting of Frankfort Community Unit School District number 168 to order. The purpose of this special meeting is to consider action regarding the awarding of bids for a facility renovation project, as well as to hold and potentially take action following student disciplinary hearings. To determine if a quorum is present, I would ask the secretary to please call the roll.
I'm here. Mr. Browning?
Here.
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Mr. Connor?
Here.
Mrs. Steinberger? Here. Mr. Tony?
Here. I certify that a quorum is present. Would everyone please rise and join Mrs. Dawn Browning, who is ending her career as a 4-year position as secretary.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 2, under hearing of delegates or visitors and public comments. This is the time in the meeting when we ask if any delegates or visitors would like to make public comments for the board to hear. If you wish to speak per board policy 2.230, we ask that you identify yourself for the record and limit your comments to no longer than 5 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to speak who's not otherwise on the agenda?
So Seth Brandon. First off, I'll make this really quick. I want to apologize for last meeting. I came at you guys thinking that 7 people were fired, and I've learned a lot more since then. It sounds like 7 people had their jobs told you don't have it, and then 7 more positions opened up. So that was confusion on my part, and I apologize for that. That said, I do think that it would have been a little bit more helpful, because I wasn't the only one confused by this, if in the future we were to talk about stuff that is opening up, or jobs that are being combined, or people that are moving around. I understand that's a lot of overhead, but in really stressful times like this for some of the people involved, I think that helped get the message out of what we're doing. I only have one question tonight, and that's regarding ELIS. It's the Educator License Information System. One of the things I was looking up was just if there was a way to like check everybody's like certifications, endorsements, that kind of thing. And whenever I looked up our schools or our district, none of our schools had any data in it. Is that just something that isn't required anymore, or?
As far as I last knew, on the public side, stuff could be looked up, but because I'm usually coming in through my login, I never go through that direction.
Okay.
But we do check that, and have people licensed where they need to be, or if we haven't been able to find employees, then as close as we can get them with the regional superintendent and state board being aware, we've done that. there's also something called the EIS system, but again, I just haven't.
Yeah, I think EIS, that was, so that's where all the salaries were posted, with some documents. I didn't try to look at that, like I said, I just went to that licensure information system and didn't know what was supposed to be in the public versus, what was on the administration.
Right.
Alright, so I'll try to look more into that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else? Going once, going twice, I don't see a line at the podium. So we will move right along to item number 3. Under new business and facilities, number 1, consideration of awarding bids for a tuck pointing project at Frankfurt Community High School. Mr. Duncan.
In our 102-year-old building, I don't know that there's been much tuck pointing done through the years. I certainly can't remember any. But we ran into a situation in the fall when the hurricane, and I can't remember which hurricane that was, the big one that came in. Also, ended up by the time it got to us, wind out of the north and drove rain through the north, and where we already had moisture issues on our 2 main stairways, moisture came in, took most of the rest of the plaster down. To make sure we don't have any other issues, we then looked at a possibility of having those 2 sections tuck pointed. We were able to apply for and receive the school maintenance grant, which matches up to $50,000. So looking for a $100,000 project or less would be great. We worked with basic architects who drew up the plans. Ended up with 2 firms bidding after I think maybe 3 or 4 took a look at the project. And do keep in mind, part of the difficulty of this project is they've got to come up the back, over the back hall, and then back down into those 2 roof courtyards, I guess you could say, to get to these 2 areas. One bid came from Mason's Masonry, I believe it was in the Springfield area. Their base bid was $72,893. Unit price number 1 is if we were to decide to do additional tuck pointing while we're there, per 100 square feet, $12 per 100 square feet. Unit price number 2 is if they find damage or cracked bricks and need to replace them, $45 per brick. Then Barter Masonry, which I believe is from the Harrisburg area or somewhere in Saline County, their base bid was $98,754. Their unit price to do an additional 100 square feet was $1,500. Their unit price on per brick to replace damaged one is $47. Did ask the question, are we sure that they all meant the numbers they did? And they did. So, at $72,893, I think I would recommend that we go with Mason's Masonry. And again, we'll see where we are on this project. We want to maximize the amount that we get from the state, and this 50-50 match. But we also don't want to spend more than we have to, so we'll kind of see where we are as this project goes along.
It's a big gap on the unit price number 1.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, I know you said it, but you did ask them to confirm the $12 per 100 square feet.
And I guess the fact that they're here, they're set up,
Right.
I don't know, well, I guess it'd have to be anywhere in the building, but I would think maybe in those areas, see if there's anything that needs to be done while we're.
Yeah. For $12 a 100 square foot.
Yeah.
And the Mason's Masonry was in the Springfield area, and the other outfit was out of
Saline County.
I don't understand that.
Jake said, unless they've got a few projects down here, Jake said that, Jake McCann with Mason Architects said that they had used Mason's Masonry in the past and they had done well. It had been a little bit, but maybe just where work is across the state or here right now, and who knows, maybe they've got a few other projects down here they can send it.
Or they could be trying to get established down here.
If they seriously gave you their estimate or their idea of what they thought it would be.
Yes, I don't have that with me. I think our original estimate actually
Any other questions of the board? Mr. Dawkins? If not, I would entertain a motion to award the bid for the tuck pointing project at Frankfurt Community High School to the firm of Mason's Masonry. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make it.
Thank you, Mrs. Steinberger. How about a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Roll call vote, please.
I say yes. Mr. Browning?
Yes.
Mr. Burns? Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Ms. Steinberger?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes. Item B, possible student disciplinary hearing, appointment of a hearing officer. I would entertain a motion to appoint as hearing officer for the disciplinary hearings that will be held this evening. Myself, Mr. Kevin Tony. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make it.
You guys are eager for me to do this, aren't you? Was that Mr. Burns making the motion?
Mr. Connor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Connor making the motion.
The elders have a voice.
And then Mrs. Browning second. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
I say yes. Mr. Browning?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Ms. Steinberger?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes. Sorry, my bad. Number 2, closed session. I would entertain a motion to convene in closed session to hold hearings regarding student disciplinary cases as stated in 5 ILCS Article 120/2, Section C, subsection 9. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make it.
Thank you, Mrs. Steinberger. How about a second?
No.
Thank you, Mrs. Browning. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
I say yes. Mr. Browning?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Ms. Steinberger?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Yes, 6-0. Well,
Good, how are you?
Yeah. You don't say hi to me.
I'm not talking to you.
Why?
Yeah.
Just last night.
Yeah.
See you in a little bit.
See you in a bit. All right, so what we just went over was the first item was the award of the bid for the Tuck Point project. Now, I don't remember all the rules, so I'm pretty fuzzy on this. You can look it up later in school code if you want, but there are rules as to which bids they have to accept with school funds, and basically it boils down to there's a list of exceptions for things such as safety and security or technology, but the district is supposed to go with the lowest bid. That's just baked into the school code. And like I said, there's a bunch of exceptions there, so take that as you will, look it up on your own. And then, of course, the second matter with it being a student disciplinary matter about a specific student, they can't or they take that into closed session. As far as my comments go, last session we did, as I said, I was under the impression that they were firing 7 people and then advertising an unknown amount of spots. But what ended up happening is they told 7 people that they wouldn't have a position next year, and that there were these 7 new positions that were opening up for bids. And so the seniority plays into who gets which spot there. So technically they can classify that as they didn't fire anybody, so they didn't need to bring that up in open session beforehand. They're just shuffling people around, and that's also baked into the school code as far as or the Open Meetings Act as far as what they do and don't have to report. The ELIS system. So the Educator License Information System is run by the Illinois State Board of Education, and it's supposed to be this big database of every educator, teacher, aide, paraprofessional, everything everyone who deals with the schools in Illinois, what certifications they have, what endorsements, all this other stuff. And so what the administration does is whenever they get an applicant, they look them up on this database. They have their own like administration side of the database, and it tells them a lot more details about each individual person that's, potentially applying for a spot. There's also a public record search where the public is supposed to be able to look at everybody employed by the district, and you can search by name and narrow it down by which school and stuff like that. However, whenever I searched through it, I did a search for the entire district, and it showed up as no data for any of our schools. And just to make sure I wasn't doing anything wrong, I went ahead and filtered it down to the high school specifically, and then put in someone's name, and it didn't pull up any data there either. So I'm thinking that the public database just doesn't have any information on our schools. And I don't know what the rules are regarding that yet. It may end up being that, by law, they only have to, they don't have to put anything into that public database unless they want to. But it may not be that, so, more to come there. And then I'm also going to be looking up this EIS, which may be another database where they put this sort of information in. But the EIS is what's listed on the westfrankfurtschools.org website for their documents. That's going to list everybody who's faculty for the district and what their base salary is. So I'm not for sure if that's going to have much information for me in regards to endorsements and licensures and certifications and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the stream for right now. I'll start it back up whenever they come back from open session. Given that they're only going to be enclosed for one thing, I'm going to cross my fingers and hope it's not for too long. But I got a good book, so I'll see you whenever they come back. Oh, and if you have any comments or anything like that, leave them on here, and we'll get to them next meeting whenever there's public comment available. See you in a bit.